April 17, 2026. A pen in Aliyah Boston's hand. The largest contract in WNBA history. 4 years, $6.3 million, written to keep Caitlin Clark's championship window open, and $190,000 sitting right next to it, that she walked away from. Kelly Krauskopf, the team president who came back to Indianapolis to win this franchise a championship, got that gift. Now she's got 5 days to prove she didn't waste it. Caitlin Clark is the engine. Everyone knows that. But Aliyah Boston is the foundation, and the foundation just gave the team $190,000 it never should have had to give. So look at what Krauskopf did with the money. Because here's the part people miss. This wasn't a casual decision. The contract Aliyah Boston signed was, by every measurement, historic. 4 years, $6.3 million guaranteed. The first veteran 4-year deal under the new CBA. A'ja Wilson took 3, Breanna Stewart took 3, Jonquel Jones took 3, Boston took 4, locked herself to Indiana through 2029. And on top of that, she gave back $190,000 in 2026 alone. Took $1 million when the league rules said she could have taken $1.19 million. ESPN reported she did it to help the Fever pay others on the roster. Translate that. The $190,000 is in-season flexibility. It's hardship contracts. It's mid-year additions. It's the safety net Krauskopf is supposed to use when the season starts breaking. Aliyah Boston handed Kelly Krauskopf the safety net. Now look at the roster Krauskopf built before Boston even gave it to her. Myisha Hines-Allen, a veteran brought in on the cheap. Damiris Dantas returning. Justine Pissott, a rookie drafted 25th in the second round. That's the bench Aliyah Boston walked into. That's what was already on the table when Boston decided to give back $190,000. Now, Monique Billings. That's a real signing. 2-year deal, projected starter at the 4. No argument there. But Billings replaces Natasha Howard, who left as a free agent for Minnesota, a $1.4 million decision Howard made on her own. The Billings money didn't come from Boston's sacrifice. The $190,000 is supposed to fund what comes next. The midseason fix, the hardship signing, the piece Krauskopf adds when the bench fails. Krauskopf hasn't added anything. 5 days from the opener, and the safety net Aliyah Boston paid for is sitting in an unspent cap account. On April 29th, on the Fever's Media Day, Amber Cox said something most fans didn't catch. Cox is the GM. Krauskopf is her boss, president of basketball and business operations. And on the record, in front of cameras, Cox said the front office was making decisions impacting what we need to do against a hard cap in the future. Translate that one too. The hard cap in the future is the moment Caitlin Clark becomes Supermax eligible in 2027. The decisions are the ones being made right now. What to spend, what not to spend, who to bring in cheap, who to let walk. Aliyah Boston already made her decision. She gave the team $190,000 of in-season flexibility for 2026. The question is what the people sitting above her are going to do with it. And the answer, so far, is nothing. 5 days from now, the Indiana Fever open the 2026 season at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Sophie Cunningham is recovering from a torn MCL. Her availability isn't guaranteed. Aliyah Boston is the only front-court player on this roster who's an all-star. The bench behind her is what we just walked through. Caitlin Clark is in year 3. Year 3 is when the championship window cracks open for stars in this league. A'ja Wilson won her first ring in year 5. Breanna Stewart won hers with Sue Bird at her side. Nobody wins championships alone. Aliyah Boston knew that. That's why she gave back the $190,000. She wasn't paying for charity. She was paying for help that could win her a ring before Caitlin Clark turns 26. And help on a vet minimum is not the help you buy a ring with. 5 days isn't enough time to fix this. Krauskopf can't sign another star this week. Training camp's over. Cuts have been made. The 12 players who walk out for the May 9th opener are the 12 players Aliyah Boston is going to share a locker room with through opening week. So when the Fever lose the games they're going to lose, and they're going to lose them, the question won't be who's at fault. The question will be who saw this coming. Aliyah Boston saw it. She gave the $190,000 trying to prevent it. Caitlin Clark sees it now. The window doesn't open again. And the woman who's supposed to use that money? She's had 3 weeks since Boston signed the extension. 3 weeks of in-season flexibility sitting in the bank. She hasn't moved. But here's where it gets dangerous. Kelly Krauskopf isn't some rookie executive learning the cap rules on the job. She built the 2012 Indiana Fever team that won the WNBA championship. Lynn Dunn coached that team. Tamika Catchings led it on the floor. Krauskopf assembled it. 8 straight playoff appearances, 3 conference titles, 1 ring. This woman knows what a championship roster looks like. She knows what depth means in a 7-game series, when the starting power forward picks up 2 early fouls and the ball has to find a second option in the post. Krauskopf has seen it. Built rosters that survived it. So when Aliyah Boston walked away from $190,000 to give Krauskopf flexibility, Krauskopf, of all people, should have known what to do with it. The woman who built a championship around Tamika Catchings, building this around Caitlin Clark, the math doesn't work. You know what's funny about all this? The last time an owner in Indianapolis had a generational score, 18 years passed before the franchise admitted they'd failed him. His name was Reggie Miller. He played for the Pacers from 1987 to 2005. Never wore another jersey. Took the deal that kept him in Indiana every time. Made 1 finals appearance, 2000 against the Lakers. Lost. Reggie Miller retired without a championship. The owner of those Pacers, the same owner sitting in the same building right now, was Herb Simon. Caitlin Clark is on track for the same career arc, same city, same building, same ownership family, and now the same pattern. A generational player taking less, asking the franchise to win her a ring, and the front office writing checks for journeymen. Tamika Catchings played 15 years in that same building before the franchise finally won one for her. Aliyah Boston gave $190,000. Reggie Miller gave 18 years. Indianapolis has a habit of asking its generational players to wait. Here's what May 9th actually looks like for Aliyah Boston. She walks into Gainbridge Fieldhouse, 35 minutes on the floor, double-teamed in the paint because the Fever don't have a second post threat. And when she finally finds the open kickout, the rotation behind her is a rookie and a vet making the league minimum. Second foul in the 3rd quarter. Stephanie White goes to the bench. The bench can't score. Indiana loses by 8. That's the season, not just one game. 5 days from now is the first one. But the pattern Aliyah Boston gave $190,000 to prevent is going to play out the rest of the year, unless Krauskopf actually uses the money. And so far, Krauskopf is sitting on it. Boston gave the gift. Krauskopf decided not to spend it yet. She decided wrong. So here's the question. Aliyah Boston gave Kelly Krauskopf $190,000 to help build a championship around Caitlin Clark. Krauskopf, the woman who already built 1 championship for this franchise, used that money on nothing yet. 3 weeks of cap flexibility sitting in an account while the bench Aliyah Boston walked into stays exactly the way she found it. If Aliyah Boston gave up $190,000 to help Kelly Krauskopf build something, what is Krauskopf actually building? 5 days from now, every Fever fan in Indianapolis gets to find out. Tamika Catchings waited a decade for her ring. Reggie Miller never got his. Caitlin Clark is watching. What do you think? Is Krauskopf going to use the gift, or is she going to waste it? Let me know in the comments.